Bitcoin just released one of its most controversial updates in years, and it's already dividing the community. We're talking about Bitcoin Core version 30.0, an upgrade that changes how data can live on the blockchain, opens the door to new use cases, but also raises serious concerns about Bitcoin's future. Today, I'll break it all down for you. What's changing, why it matters, and whether this could spark another client war inside Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin Core and why it matters? Let's start with the basics. Bitcoin Core is the reference software that powers the majority of the Bitcoin network. When you run a Bitcoin node, in most cases, you're running Core. This software is what validates transactions, enforces consensus rules, and ensures Bitcoin keeps running the way Satoshi Nakamoto designed it. Any major change to Bitcoin Core doesn't just affect developers, it affects miners, node operators, businesses, and ultimately the value and reputation of Bitcoin itself. That's why version 30.0 is such a big deal. Key feature number 1, bigger op return from 83 bytes to 100,000 bytes. The biggest headline in v30.0 is the expansion of the op return field. For years, Bitcoin has allowed very small amounts of arbitrary data to be stored in transactions, 83 bytes to be exact. Think of it like scribbling a tiny note on the blockchain. But now, with Core v30.0, that limit has been expanded to a massive 100,000 bytes per transaction. What does that mean? Well, now people can embed not just notes, but entire documents, images, even small files directly onto Bitcoin's ledger. This opens the door to timestamping services, tokenization, NFTs, or building new protocols directly on Bitcoin. Sounds exciting, right? But here's where the controversy begins. The debate: innovation versus spam. Supporters say this is Bitcoin evolving beyond money. It makes the blockchain more versatile, enabling creative use cases and expanding adoption. But critics see danger. They argue that Bitcoin's block space is precious. If people start uploading large files, memes, or unnecessary data, it could clog the mempool, raise transaction fees, and make it running a full node more expensive. Some even call it spam. This is why the op return debate isn't just technical, it's philosophical. Should Bitcoin remain strictly about monetary transactions, or should it become a broader platform for digital permanence? Key feature number 2, new relay policies. Another important change is how Bitcoin Core nodes handle transactions with large op return data. Before, Bitcoin Core had strict filters that basically limited how these transactions were relayed across the network. With v30.0, those restrictions are loosened. Nodes now follow a more flexible policy, but here's the catch: it's opt-in. If you don't upgrade, your node will still validate Bitcoin blocks as usual. You'll just see fewer of these new data-heavy transactions in your mempool. So there's no hard fork here, but it does mean different clients may see different versions of the mempool, and that creates tension. The client wars, Core versus NOTs. This brings us to what some are calling the new client wars. Bitcoin NOTs, a popular alternate client, has taken a stricter approach. Its developers believe expanding op return is a mistake, and they're keeping tighter restrictions in place. So now we have two visions. Core says, let the users decide how to use Bitcoin. NOTs says, keep Bitcoin lean and focused on money. This division doesn't break Bitcoin. Blocks are still validated the same way, but it does highlight a growing split in philosophy within Bitcoin's ecosystem. Other technical updates. Beyond op return, v30.0 also includes technical improvements, better mempool efficiency and UTXO management, improved transaction selection and discard rules, dropping support for UPnP while introducing modern port forwarding methods, continued compatibility with Linux, macOS, and Windows. These changes might sound minor, but they make Bitcoin nodes more stable and efficient in the long run. The risks and challenges. Of course, with every update, there are risks. Will larger op return transactions actually be used for valuable projects, or will they flood the network with junk? Could this discourage people from running full nodes because of storage and bandwidth costs? And perhaps most importantly, will these philosophical splits between clients weaken Bitcoin's unity, or will they make it stronger by offering choice? Big picture, why this matters now. We're at a fascinating moment in Bitcoin's history. For years, the narrative was simple. Bitcoin is sound money. Now with V30.0, the door is opening wider to alternative use cases. Some love that, some hate it. What's clear is that Bitcoin continues to evolve. And whether you think this is progress or a distraction, the decisions made today could shape how Bitcoin is used for decades to come. Is Bitcoin Core V30.0 a necessary step forward for innovation, or is it putting Bitcoin at risk of bloat and spam? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear where you stand. And if you found this breakdown useful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dive crypto content, and share this video with someone who needs to stay informed about Bitcoin's future.